What you have to do to stay consistent and to really make this work is do the same things every day. And that's the 10-10-10 system. It's so simple and it truly makes a huge impact in the long term. So it is 10 reach outs, or I'm sorry, no, 10 new connections, 10 reach outs, and 10 follow ups. And for those of you with teams, I encourage you to add a fourth 10 to that and touch base with 10 of your team members, or however many team members. Let that number grow with your team. I typically don't go beyond 10, but I really want to try to make sure I'm connecting with people too, checking in. How can I help you? How can I support you? Um, but that first part is what I want us to focus on first. And I'm going to kind of chunk this power hour because that's what I do. When I sit on power hours, I chunk my time. I dedicate certain amounts of time to that because if not, I'm going to be on Instagram and I'm going to be I get sucked in. I'm looking at someone's profile and then I see she has a puppy and it's of this random breed and I'm like, "Oh, what is that breed like?" And next thing I know, I'm Googling. Like, so I set my timer. So the first thing I'm going to talk about it briefly, and I want us to spend some time working on it, is 10 new connections. This is my favorite part, and I actually do this before I go to bed too, to kind of give me some fresh people to talk to the next morning. But 10 new connections, how I do this is, and everyone does a little bit differently, but for me, I primarily focus on Instagram. I'll talk about Facebook too. Instagram is where I tend to find the most people. And guys, you're going to laugh at me when I tell you what I do. I don't even necessarily search hashtags, but you can. So, say you're going to search hashtag. Today, I did moms who run because I'm trying to convince myself to start running again. And so I was like, well, that'll be fun. That'll motivate me. So I searched that hashtag. And that grid will come up, all those squares of people. I clicked on one, just one. I scrolled through, I found someone that looked like my people. I clicked on her. She had like 25,000 followers. I followed her, of course. Then I looked at who she is following. I scrolled through very quickly. I found 3 people. I followed them. I then looked at who is following her. I found 5 people, clicked on them. And I made sure I had at least 10 people. And all I looked at was one profile. And because since she had 25 something thousand followers, it was easy to find a few people. That was it. So what I'll do next time is I'll go back to those people and I'll comment on their stories. I'll comment on a few of their posts and I'll just kind of let those people sit for a day. I want to get in their inbox. I want them to see me. I want to comment on their post. I want to make sure that, one, I increase the likelihood that they'll follow me back. But if anything, when I reach out to them, we've already had some sort of contact. And so my message is most likely going to go in their main inbox instead of the whatever the secret one is. That honestly, I delete all of those messages. I don't read them because half of them are like the sugar daddy offers. So you need to probably, especially on Instagram, you need to have some sort of interaction with them before you reach out to them. Okay. Stories are the best. And typically I don't even follow someone if they don't use stories. I'm like, if they don't use stories, they're probably not going to be successful here. So I find my 10 people and it's fun. Like that's my favorite. And I have to set the timer because I will find new people all day long and the hours gone by and I have tons of people, but I've just wasted time on social media. So that is how simple that is. On Facebook, what I recommend is you be more purposeful in those reach outs and thinking about who your husband is friends with, who your brother, your sister, your babysitter, your dog groomer. Like start going into their friends list because if you go to suggested friends on Facebook, you're going to be looking at other people, savvy people. You're going to have that moment where you reach out and someone's like, I'm an executive in this company. And you're like, oh, I'm so sorry. It happened to me 2 days ago. But in my defense, she had nothing on her page. So, I have gotten to where on Facebook, if people are recommended to me and I really can't see anything savvy and I really want to reach out to them, I do look to see, make sure they don't have any mutual friends on my team. And I search their name in the brand partners page to see if they're a member on the corporate page. But you really have to be more creative on Facebook. It takes more time to find new people. So to me, Instagram is where it's at. And you know what, guys? You can even look on Facebook. If you really want to stick to Facebook, reach outs, search their name on Facebook. You found them on Instagram, now go find them on Facebook and send them a friend request on Facebook if that's truly the vehicle you're more comfortable using. Okay. So that is the very first part of it. So I want us to take just a few minutes because, guys, this part's easy. This part does not take a lot of time typically. I want us to take a few minutes and I want you to go to your Instagram, or if you're going to use Facebook, I want you to go to Facebook and I want you to start adding a few new people. After you've added them, I want you to interact with them. Don't reach out to them just yet. Take a day to interact with them. And then you're going to reach out to them tomorrow. Those are going to be your new reach outs. So as you're creating these new connections, you're also making your next task easier because you already know who you're going to reach out to the next day as well. I see, do I track somehow the people? Okay, so since I use Instagram, when you go to your Instagram friends and you click people you're following, at the very top, there's a filter option that allows you to filter them from your latest people you've started following. I think it says earliest and latest are the terms it uses. And so I see those people at the very top. They're my new people. But if I'm on Facebook, I do write their names down. And I try to write their names down. The second I intend to reach out to them, I write their names down on a notebook. So whatever works for you, whether you use a notebook, whether you keep it all on your phone. So I'm going to set a timer. I'm only going to give us like 5 minutes because I really want us to focus on reach outs and follow-ups. But I'm going to give us about 5 minutes to find some new people. And that's who you're going to reach out to in your next power hour. Okay, Jamie, so what you'll do is, so I'm on my profile. I don't know if you can see it. You can't because of the glare. You're going to click on who you're following. Okay. And at the very top, I know every phone's a little bit different, but at the very top, it says sort by default. And there's little up and down arrows next to it on my phone. You click those little up and down arrows, they're in that circle, and it'll come up sort by, oh, it's not going to show you, kind of does. It'll say sort by date followed latest or date followed earliest. I keep it on date followed latest. That way I see my new people I'm following. Genius. I never knew that. And a quick note, those new people you're following, they're your new people where you can find new people for the next couple of days. I don't go too far into people's networks because if they join you, you don't want to be like, oh, yeah, I've been talking to your best friend too. So don't like start following their entire list. That's creepy. But look at their list, find a few new people, and then look at that person's list. It snowballs off of one person you found.
Christy, did you say you look at who they're following or who their followers are?
I look at both. I do both. I usually get a few out of each. And then I see some of the new connections I've made hit me up in a day or two with the message. I keep the first response upbeat and casual. How soon after that can I pounce on them and mention savvy? So, what I do if someone reaches out to me first, I immediately take over the conversation. If they reach out to you, most likely they are going to present their own business or so I take control of that conversation. I make sure that I just have that dialogue because honestly, I didn't reach out to them to hear about their business. And I don't mean that in a rude way, but I didn't. And so what I do is the second they reach out to me first and introduce themselves, I just own it. I'm like, thank you so much for connecting. When I saw your profile, I knew instantly. I just tell them you're someone that I would be friends with in real life. I would so have a glass of wine with you. I actually really want to talk to you about something. And then I just go ahead and talk to them about Savvy. Not everyone agrees with that approach, but that is me. I'm very direct. I don't build, I hate to call them fake friendships, but I don't spend time building a relationship with someone first. That comes during the reach outs and follow ups. And I'll talk about that here in a second.
Y'all, I just found something else. Thanks, Christy. You probably already know that, but I've asked like a bunch of other people. The stories archive. Anybody know that? Because I forget. I put up a poll. I just said this to my virtual assistant today. I was like, if you ever see that I put up a poll, can you check and see if anybody answered? Because I put one up and I forget to ever go back. And if you do that, like I do, or you ask a question or something, you can go back. That's like life changing. I was looking for your other dots and I was like, look. Now I'm looking at every poll that I put up in November that I never looked back at.
Okay, so I think it's actually only been like 5 minutes, but I'm going to move on because the most important part is reach outs, new connections. Guys, if you just do this before you go to bed at night, if you take a couple of minutes at the beginning of your daily activity time, your power hour, whatever, you will always have new people to talk to. Cold reach outs are something that I think scare a lot of people, and you are missing a gold mine. Jessica Cimentelli on here, I think she's still on here, and if not, I think she is. She was a cold reach out. Anna Safavi and Amy Healy, who joined her, were cold reach outs, and they are powerhouses. So many of my team were cold reach outs. I didn't know them. Emily Berg, who Katie Tillman, I mean, these are now some of my closest friends. It's amazing. So don't be scared to reach out to people you don't know because you don't know what kind of relationship is going to come from it. Okay, so reach outs. So you've added these new people, and then you also have people already in mind from your social media, right? Like you have your list of people that you want to talk to. On my other power hours, I talk a lot about how you have to be you. Okay. Don't use the same copy and paste message for every person. You're going to sound like a robot. So, what I do is I tell them, I kind of have a formula though. I tell them why I'm reaching out to them, especially if I don't know them. I'm like, look, I noticed this about you. And say, Taylor, I noticed that you were really into fitness. And after taking a look at your profile, you do a really good job of empowering and motivating other people. I'm working with a new company in pre-launch. It's an athleisure wear and lifestyle brand, and that is our focus right now, is empowering other women to be their best self. We need to talk about this. Can I send you some information? I just keep it very simple like that, and that's pretty much what all my reach outs sound like. But typically people respond because one, I've made them feel good, and it wasn't fake. I was being genuine. That's why I reached out to them. I saw that in them. And so it immediately, not always, I still get the snarky responses sometimes too. Just be thankful. You don't want those people. But majority of the time they're like, oh, you've made my day. Thank you. I needed to hear that. And, and then we start talking. Yes, I'll type that really quickly here in the chat here in just a second as soon as y'all get to work. So with reach outs, I make sure I reach out to 10 people, and I'll be honest, in October and even in November until towards the end of November, I slacked off on my reach outs because I was trying to just get through, honestly, get through October and then November. But the months where I added 12 to 13 brand partners a month were the months I was talking to 10 to 20 people a day without fail. Jen Ashby did a call for my team, and she said, and we asked her, and Anna said this earlier during goal setting. I asked her, I said, what is your number one advice for people who are in network marketing? And she said, I never went to bed without talking to 20 people a day. Okay. So, first of all, think about your in person contacts. It's COVID. Yes, we're all at home, but think about where you do go, whether you work, whether your kids go to school. Think about the people you're already in contact with every day. If you're not verbally talking to them about savvy, you're missing out on a huge opportunity right there. Okay. Don't ignore your warm market. Sometimes they're the scariest to talk to, but don't ignore them. All right. So, now your cold market. To me, cold market's more fun. That's what I love. You're going to start reaching out to those people you've added. And that's what I'm going to focus on tonight. Of course, some people you've just added and you're going to start adding people, but we all have people on our list I'm sure we've not reached out to yet. So your first initial reach out, be prepared to not get a response. Don't be emotionally attached to their response. And just go ahead and just assume they're going to either say no or not respond. Okay. If they do respond, most likely they're going to tell you their plate is too full. If I had a penny for every time I heard that, I would not need to be director because I would already be a millionaire. I mean, that's just what they're going to say. That's what everyone says. My plate is too full. And you go, fantastic. That means you're perfect for this. The busier you are, the better you're going to be here because this is simply wearing clothes and sharing them. The busier you are, the more people you have to share it with. You really need to look at this. And you're starting a conversation. So these reach outs are going to be an ongoing conversation. I don't know one person who joined after one reach out. Okay. Well, maybe Amy White did. I think that may be her story, but that's rare. So be prepared to be in it for the long haul with these people. You're going to have to start building relationship. That's where the relationship building starts coming in, is after that reach out. So I'm going to type typically what I say in the comments. And hi, Heather, who is new. And I really want you to think about the people you're reaching out to. Why do you want them on your team? What about them draws you to them? And tell them that when you reach out to them. I mean, don't be creepy and be like, hey, I think you're beautiful and I want you on my team. I wouldn't use the word team. I would just say, hey, I'm reaching out to you because I see this in you. Okay. So I'm going to type my example and I want you to take a few minutes to start reaching out to those people. That is really why we're here. I say a few minutes. I'm actually going to give everyone like 20 minutes and then I want us to talk about the last part of it. But definitely if you have questions, type them in the chat or whatever. But I just encourage you to start finding those new people. If you're still in the process of doing that, do that tonight and reach out to them tomorrow. But make sure you're talking to at least 10 people a day. Courtney, I'm going to use your name. Okay, I typed some language in the chat if y'all want to take pictures of it or screenshots or whatever. That's typically what I do when I'm in power hours. And I saw someone ask about ghosting. So ghosting, okay, guys, it's like a commercial. That's what your reach outs are like. I wear my Apple Watch, and so many times I get messages and I swipe, and I don't know if it's my phone or if they're just designed to do this. I never go back, and like if someone leaves me a voice message, I'm the worst. I forget to go back and listen. Like I forget messages. I'm during the day I'm like barely able to even go to the bathroom and eat my lunch. So the majority of people are just like that. And when they get a message from someone they don't really know, or you send them a message like I've just sent them, that's not their top priority in that moment. So I go back to them if they've not responded and I say, hey, Stephanie, I sent you a message a couple of days ago. I get it. Life is so crazy, but I have to reach out to you again because I really want you to take a look at this. I don't want you to miss it. And at the same time, I'm also commenting in their stories and I'm staying present in their focus. Like I'm making sure that they notice me, especially if they're another entrepreneur or they're some sort of fitness, something where they are looking for that social media attention. They're going to notice someone who's suddenly liking their posts and commenting on their stories. And, I don't go overboard with it. Like, don't comment on every single story and like every single post. You're going to look desperate, but just on a couple of them. And it's so effective if they are posting their outfit in stories or their workout or their diet, and you've already reached out to them about Savvy once, tell them, oh my goodness, girl, you'd be perfect for, you really need to look at Savvy. This is exactly what you would do, except you would wear Savvy and benefit from it. So just kind of, just point out when they share things, this is what you would do. It's this simple. Elise, yes, you can ask a question.
I just had a really quick question, and then I also have a comment to share. But quick question was, Jen mentioned tonight that with returns, if you're asking for cash back, that's when there'll be a 20% restocking fee. Is that just for brand partners? Can customers still get a full refund should they choose?
Yes, she said that that was for brand partners. Customers get the refund. Of course, they're going to offer them credit first because if they refund them, then we lose money. But yes, customers, if they push for that refund, they will get it. But now tags do still have to be on the clothes unless they're damaged.
Right.
Yes. And then what was your other comment?
So the other thing I've noticed, because cold Instagram is also probably one of my favorites, because I guess I just have more guts when it comes to it than I do sometimes with others. What I've started to find is sometimes when I do an initial message to somebody without other connections first, sometimes they completely miss it. And then later they'll start interacting with me, and it's as if, and I'll say, hey, did you see my original message? And they're like, no. So they never saw my original pitch. So sometimes I do go back in and ask them, hey, did you see it? And it's not that they've necessarily ghosted it for whatever reason, it never went through. So I'm noticing that sometimes, and I come in a little softer, but then they will talk. So
Yes. Yes. If you, that's why it's really important to kind of, especially on Instagram, to start striking up a conversation in stories with them, because the second they start interacting back, it's going to all go to their main inbox. Even if they just heart your comment, it's more likely to go to their main inbox instead of that hidden one. And guys on Facebook, I'm sure you all know this, but please make sure you're friends with someone before you message them, because one, if you message too many people that you're not friends with, you'll get put in Facebook jail, which actually now gets you put in Instagram jail. And because they're the same company. And but they also won't see your message. They'll just see a message request. And I don't even always see those. Sometimes I'll go to my message request and I have like 10. I'm like, oh, I didn't know those were there. Okay, Melanie, I see that. How do you find new people to add? So that's where in the beginning I was talking about you can search hashtags, you can just search terms. But also one of the things I do when I'm being lazy, I just open Instagram and it'll show you all these different people, like just their little squares of pictures. I just click on people who look interesting. And I start going through who's following them and who they're following. Super simple. You can tell they post stories because their profile picture, the circle around it is like rainbow colored. It's lit up, however you want to say it. And so you know they have a story for you to look at.
Christy, when you see somebody has a already like Arbonne or Monat or one of the other like in MLMs already, do you have a particular approach for that with them on Instagram?
Typically not. Typically, all of my reach outs are pretty much the same. Now, I will say this: I typically only reach out to people with entrepreneurial experience, with some exceptions. But I know that those who have that experience are going to know how to do this business, and it's just easier to work with those people. So what I do usually acknowledge, if I see that they are a leader in another company, I do say, with your skill set, with your leadership skills, with your experience, I do acknowledge that, because I found if you don't, people can get offended. Like one woman today said, "Do you know my position?" And I said, "No, I don't." And I said, "But tell me about it." And she told me, and she was still kind of rude. And I just told her, and I try to put myself in her shoes. Like if someone reached out to me, I would just be, really? And I just told her, I said, "That's amazing. That's exactly why I reached out to you. I could tell you had that experience and that skill set. And, this does not compete with what you're doing. This is an ability to enhance your network, to enhance your brand, to add a multiple stream, another stream of income." And typically, once you have those conversations with them, you end up coming, you have a new social media friend. I love being friends with other leaders, and I learn from them. They learn from me. And even if they never join me, those are my favorite people to follow. But a lot of times it kind of takes off that ickiness when you just acknowledge that, hey, I see that you're a massive leader, and that's amazing. That's why I reached out to you. Does that help?
Totally. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Sierra, I see yours about that blogger. So the thing you have to remember, is people join companies because they like the person they're talking to typically. It's all about liking and trusting that person. And so what I would do is I would keep building a relationship with that person. I would invite her to the Zoom calls. I would show her whatever it is you do to build. And I would just keep building that relationship with her and posture yourself as a leader. You are a leader. You're here. I mean, this is a brand new company. This is not always easy. It is simple, but you have a lot to go on just with your own decision just to be here. So posture yourself as a leader. Own it. Be confident. She doesn't know what your rank is or anything like that. Okay, so the last thing I want to touch on briefly is, so I went over the new connections, and I'm sorry, my dogs they like to be in my lap during power hour. I think they make an appearance in every single one. But so I talked about, new connections, and that is vital. The reach out part of it, which is the key core of what we do, And then the follow-ups, where to me, and I say it all the time, if you don't follow up effectively, you are not going to grow effectively. Follow-ups are key. And I've already touched on that a little bit, but if you're not following up with these people, if you're one of those one-time reaching outers, I don't even know if that's a term, and you give up on them because they didn't respond or they go whatever, then you are missing out on a huge opportunity. Do you know how many people have joined other people because I forgot to follow up with them? Or because I kind of beat around the bush and I wasn't assertive enough and then their best friend joined? Some of them may even be on this call, and I love you dearly. You're where you should be. But it happens. Like, don't be that person that forgets, and then that person who you knew would be amazing is amazing, but they're on someone else's team. That sucks, because then you're like, man. And so then you're just sideline best friends with them, and it's okay. So, but keep that in mind. Like, every time you hesitate is a day that they could go join someone else. And so I comment on their stories. I get to know them as people. I build friendships with them, because by the time they join my team, I want to know them, because you may even realize, oh, this is not the person I want on my team. And then you can kind of just stop talking to them. But it's very, very important. And I want you to think of follow-ups as not the super icky, hey, you enjoy my team? Hey, I talked to you last week and you didn't respond to me. I mean, like, it's nothing like that. It's genuinely continuing a conversation with them. Tonight, your follow-ups. Tomorrow, your follow-ups should be telling them about what's coming Friday. Telling them we have 5 new releases this month of multiple products. That's huge. We have really cute clothes. We have new categories coming this month. I can't say anything else about that. I'll get in trouble. But this is a huge month. So tell them that. This is the perfect month for you to join. We have so many new releases. People are Christmas shopping. Everybody loves clothes. Everybody's going to want activewear in January because everyone's going to be wanting to get skinnier again. Okay? So don't hesitate in going back to those people and just saying to them, hey, you belong here. Hey, I hope you've had a great day. You're on my mind. We have the cutest tie-dye shirt releasing on Friday, and it's so fun. I think you would love it. You need to do this and buy it with your enrollment credit. Those are the conversations I have with people. Okay, I see more. Doreen, so I'm not sure if it was the company or your team that did the most, did almost 1 million. Well, I know Amy White's, like, everyone under Amy White, or no, everyone under Courtney. Wasn't it like 800 and something, 50,000 something on your team, Courtney?
So we did on Black Friday, we did 500,000 in sales, not volume, in sales, which is like half of the volume. And then on Monday we did 400. So I didn't,
That's almost 1 million.
I do track, but I didn't calculate the in between, but almost 1 million. And I was talking to Tom before being on here. They're on their way back from corporate. And he said that Jen said that Monday for the company was $1 million day. They did $1 million in sales. And he was like, this is insane. He was like, this is like, there is no place like what we have. Like, what we have right now is, and he has been, y'all, I love when I get a moment to like chat with them personally, because it's not that often. And they have been in this industry, you guys, for 30 something years. And I have been in this industry for 6 and been like a nothing, like literally been like a nothing special forever until this. And it is weird. I say that all the time. It is strange to be in a position of leadership, to be like in a place where like Tom and Kim, who know everybody in the industry and stuff, like give a call. And Christy, I'm sure that you can speak to that same thing. Like we're on the phone with Ken and Jen, or but that just proves to me that we all have this opportunity right now. Like, and I said, I mean, he was like, how's the minivan? Like, that's his first question all the time. He's like, how's the minivan? I'm like, it's awesome. And I was like, I love the minivan. Like, it's great. And he's just kind of joking, but it's so true that like, this is the opportunity that all of us, like, we have this. And I think that that's insane. And for him to say like $1 million in a day, that's insane. That's incredible. I mean, we are not even a year old.
And so I would use that posture. Like when you're like, guys, I would tell everyone tomorrow, my company just did $1 million in one day. Because some people are going to push back and say, well, it's not a consumable product. I sold skincare and I was like trying to give away free eye creams all the time.
Right.
And I mean, this doesn't happen. I mean, it just doesn't happen at their places. And so for those that push back and say, well, I just don't know if people are going to buy that many leggings. Well, they just did.
You're like,
Right.
And on Black Friday, they did. And then we outdid it on Cyber Monday with 2 products. Just
Yes.
joggers,
That's what blows my mind. 2 products, joggers and a cute bra. I still didn't get my slate blue joggers. I'm bitter. Okay. So I see some more questions about, I hope I answered the last question. Oh, I'm such an ADHD teacher. Okay. So the first thing is a sense. So Grace, I know every leader coaches a little bit differently. So please, if I say something different, don't go back to your leader and be like, well, Christy said. There's really no right or wrong. We have so many good resources to share. Typically what I do, and this is just what Christy Hardy does. When I reach out to someone and they request information, I send them the very short, why savvy, why now. Sometimes I use Courtney's. I kind of go by the person, but to keep it simple for you, I would find that one video or 2 that you like, and I would send them that as their first look. And then if they want to know more, I would invite them to the next Zoom call or send them the longer recorded Zoom. Okay. I just keep it simple. If you use ATM, which is the Sandlot page or the Savvy, I don't know what to call it now, Tom and Kim's page, plug them into that and tag them in a video or 2. For me personally, I have found that it's more effective for me to send them a very short video and I tell them, I'm going to follow up with you in a few minutes. This video is 5 minutes long or however many minutes long. I'm going to follow up with you in about 10 minutes. Is that cool? So then they go ahead and watch it too. So you don't like 4 days later go back to them and say, hey, did you watch that video? Because by then you're old news. They've forgotten you. Okay, Kim. So I said we have 5 new releases this month. We have new categories, which I can't say too much about that. But the fact that they can enroll and use their enrollment credit, people are Christmas shopping. Like everyone is spending money out the wazoo right now. And clothes, everybody wants to buy clothes. And then in January, we're all going to be trying to get skinnier. I'm trying to get skinnier right now for Cabo next week. But I just unfortunately started Monday, so that's not going to go very well for me. But at least, I'm on the right track. But everyone's going to be in that fitness mindset in January and February. So this is the opportunity to really, so many other companies see a slump in January. I bet we see a peak because everybody's going to want new activewear to wear to the gym because they're going to lose 5 pounds. Instagram, yes, follow first, then comment on the story interaction. Interact on Instagram always first. Follow them first and then interact a little bit. Let's see. So at least my favorite short video is I share the newest Why Savvy, Why Now. But honestly, Lauren Sandagate's 14-minute Zoom today, I just sent that to people. It's 14 minutes. And if someone's not going to watch for 14 minutes, are they really going to do this business? Elise has a really good one for fitness professionals. Yeah, she just put it in the chat. So proud of her. Marcy, you're so going to be advanced executive, by the way. I meant to tell you that in goal setting. I don't know you personally. Can't wait to meet you next week, but you're phenomenal. Stephanie, Lauren Zanagate has, it's a full business presentation that's 14 minutes. I try to copy it and do one for myself just for my prospects. I can't do it like her. I just send hers. She is so focused and poised and well spoken. And I, in the middle of it, start talking about random things. I'm me. So after recorded Zoom, Sarah, that's typically where after I sent them the recorded Zoom, for you brand new people, that's where it might be helpful for you to put them in a 3-way with your sponsor. If you really need help answering some of the questions, you can plug them into the Sandlot page where they can see the rest of the team. The most important thing I do, the most effective thing I do is I just talk to them. I ask them, what questions do you have? What can I help you? What excited you about that? Are you ready to do this with me? And I just tell them you don't have to have all the answers. Like, we're here to share with your prospects what you just heard. Like, let's link arms and do this. Typically, the less information is better, because if you give people a lot of information, they're going to get really overwhelmed and they're going to think, holy crap, I'm going to have to know all of that. And then that whole busy full plate thing pops back up and you just start over. Oh, Lynn. Okay. I see another question. Do you talk or text talk? So Christina Watts did this little post today that, how she hates voice texts. She is my soul sister. I will do them if I'm driving with someone, but I typically don't use voice text unless it's a really good friend, because honestly, I cringe when I see I have a voice text. It takes time to sit and listen, and I read quickly. And so anyway, it's just easier. It's easier for me to text. And so I just do that. I text people. I do. So after I send any, someone just asked, so I set up a time to follow up after the recorded Zooms. Yes. Anytime I give anyone information, I tell them when I'm going to follow up. So recorded Zoom, I typically want to say, I'm going to follow up with you in an hour. Does that work for you? And if they say no, I say, great, what time tonight? Or if it's late, like now, I'll say, what time tomorrow morning works for you? And I write it in my calendar, or I set the alarm on my phone to make sure that I do that. Okay, so the last 10, so we had the new connections, we had the reach outs, and we have the follow-ups. The last 10 is, you can really adapt this either way. You can be 10 people that you are not reached out to yet, but it's your warm market people or people that you already know, and you just really kind of want them to start noticing your posts. Because the way social media algorithms work, if you're not commenting on their stuff, they don't see your stuff. So if you don't have a team yet, use this 10 for 10 people you really want to focus on. 10 people you really want to make sure are seeing your content. But if you do have a team, if you do have, you're starting to grow, and you don't have to necessarily do 10, but spend time on a new person or two a day, reaching out to these people, connecting with them. Check out even if you just look at their social media feed and you make sure you've commented on their last post or two, or you've looked at their stories. That helps the people feel seen, I think, and it helps you get to know them. I was so fortunate to be able to go meet Elise. Was it last weekend, Elise, or weekend before that? I was able to go to a few places the last month or two and start meeting some of my team. That is the most powerful thing in the world, because these people who were faces you really liked then become friends. Well, I understand we all can't do that right now. And so this is your time. I would take time each day to start getting to know the people on your team, because these are people that need that community. You need that community, and it's going to make this experience 10 times better for everyone, for me, for them, because you actually are connected to the people that you're doing this with. And they become people that you love. And that's the beauty of social selling is we become this social network. Okay, I'm gonna answer a few more questions and then our time is almost up. Okay, so I see several. I have people tell me just to send the video and they'll get back with me. So what I would do is, Stephanie, I would say, when they say that, I would say, perfect. Tell you what, your time is really valuable and so is mine. And this is 14 minutes. So tell me a time that you want me to follow up with you. And if they're still just kind of wishy-washy, then I've honestly not had anyone say, not give me a time. But if they did still not give you a time, I would just say, okay, I'll tell you what, I'll follow up with you in a couple of days and leave it at that and follow up with them. To be honest, when Amber Reed first reached out to me, I told her I'd watch the videos. I didn't. She added me to the ATM page. I didn't look at it. But in my feed, it kept popping up. Like I kept seeing all these people being added and joining, and it was quarantine and my family was broke. Because my husband had a small business and I'm a teacher, and my other network marketing company was not doing as well. And so I was just like, oh, okay. And that's what I ended up going back to her. I still didn't watch the video. I didn't even know what our comp plan was until I already had a few team people. So just keep in mind that just because people aren't willing at first doesn't mean that they're not going to be a powerhouse leader on your team one day. So if you have a gut feeling about someone, don't give up on them. Just keep talking to them. Ask them if they're not wanting to watch a video, say, is there another way that you learn best? I'm all about learning styles. Some people hate videos. So if they seem to not really want to watch the video, ask them, well, how do you learn best? And go from there. So people in the UK or Canada, we're not there yet. I would definitely Canada. If you have anyone in Canada, you need to start finding people in Canada. That should be some people you're looking for and building relationships with. UK, I honestly have no idea about when we would launch there, but you can always, connections on social media are powerful regardless. You don't know where that relationship would go. You don't know who they're going to help connect you with and vice versa. Just keep them in the loop, keep getting to know them. Who knows? They may remember they have a great aunt twice removed in Utah that wants to do this. So oh, thank you, Katie. Katie shared Lauren's Santa Gate Zoom in the chat. Oh yeah, Courtney, comp plan. I'm just like, well, I know we have one and I know it's good. So all right, so are there any other, we have like 3 minutes. What I want you to do tonight before you go to bed, I don't care how late it is. I know East Coast people, it's 10 o'clock. It's okay. I want you to go back through your Instagram. I want you to go to your Facebook, whatever, and I want you to find cold network people. These are people you've never met. They're just people that look like your people, or people that look like savvy people. And I want you to start adding them. Before I go to bed each night, I add new people. And keep in mind, it may take a couple of months before they ever join you. Okay? I want to leave y'all with that encouragement. People take time, especially right now. People are stressed out. But people are also really needing community, and they really need other people, and they really need something positive. When I joined this, it was the beginning of COVID, and everyone was scared and stressed out, and my family was beyond stressed out. And Savvy was a life-changing. I mean, it did so many positive things. I'll start crying if I talk about it. People are back in that situation now. I feel like more than ever, our country's states are starting to shut down. You have the opportunity to bring something really positive, even if it's just a community, to these people right now. So don't hesitate in reaching out. Don't feel like you're bothering people. You don't know whose life you're going to end up changing because you reached out to them. So keep that mindset. And where are you going? Sorry, my 17-year-old just was like, bye. It's 9 o'clock here. Anyway, so I want to leave you with that encouragement and that squirrel that don't be afraid to reach out to people. Don't be afraid to bless them with this. They deserve to be here too. And so with that, I hope y'all have a great Wednesday. And yeah, y'all have a great week. Be on Power Hour in the morning. Lauren Sandegate, I think, is doing it at 6 a.m. She's amazing. I'll be up too. And I hope to see all your faces soon. Bye, guys.
Thank you.